Ben and I started out our hunt with some new hearing protection from Earmor by Opsmen Tech. Ben using the M30 model, and I was using the M31. More about these at the end of the hunt. In Carpe Sus, after 2 weeks, we finally had one hog returning to the feeder that we'd set up at the north end of the property where we hunt. After 3 hours of watching the feeder, about the most exciting thing that we saw during that time was this snake that had come out of the water, slightly hotter than the ground underneath it, so it stands out just a little bit. Since we needed to return the SD card back to the game camera was over by the snake, I let Ben return the SD card to the camera. We moved on then to the next part of the property, to the harvested oats field, where we saw this small sounder of hogs. We made our way getting closer to the hogs, and at this point, Ben took off to check the other side of the field that we could not see from this position to see if there were any hogs over there. And upon coming back, we decided that we would go ahead and make an approach on these hogs. In the meantime, these hogs had moved further away. We moved to catch up with the hogs, but they were already at the far end of the field and we were almost out of shooting room at this point. So we went ahead and set up here and decided that Ben would be shooting the larger sow and that I would be trying for one of the piglets. Now, somewhere in the move to catch up with these hogs, I managed to turn off my recorder, so we only have a recording from Ben on the shooting sequence, which is coming up right now.
3, 2, 1.
Ben drops this hog and I apparently missed my piglet.
I'm on the sow.
And I picked up one on the run here. Ben's hog had been shot through the heart and dropped in place.
Yep.
My hog stood up as we approached, and so here I finish it off. We ended up with an 80-pound sow for Ben and a small 25-pound female for me. And Carpe Canis. While waiting on hogs, Ben spied this coyote coming in from the bottoms. So I started calling to it, and it responded positively. Right now it's trying to work its way downwind of us. And here I'm going to bark at it to get it to stop.
Nice shot, B.
The coyote turned out to be a good-sized male, and that concluded our hunt for the evening.
Optics provided by Third Coast Thermal.
Our initial impressions of both sets of hearing protection were positive. The M30s were a little bit lighter weight, a little bit easier to use, but they had a slight hiss in the background, and the sound quality wasn't quite as good as the M31 Mod 1s, which were a little bit more complicated to use with multiple buttons, but had better sound quality and were just a little bit heavier.
Oh.